So I'm Curtis Peoples, and I'm a singer-songwriter from San Diego, California. What decade? It's tough because the cool answer is to say the '60s because that's when all the best kind of stuff was happening and so much creating and stuff like I don't know, like there was so much that was being done for the first time back then. But if anyone knows me, I'm such a big fan of the '80s and what '80s rock was like. If I could have a moment and be like John Bon Jovi in 1987, I probably would take that chance. So, um, my guilty pleasure actually kind of fits in the same thing. I mean, I'm such a big pop music fan, so some of the stuff I listen to is, I mean, I listen to a lot of great music, but some of the stuff I listen to is just downright embarrassing for a guy in his 20s to be listening to. But I'm just such a giant fan of like hair metal, and I'm such a giant fan of like all the crazy pop that's out right now. That kind of stuff. So,
Cool. Any certain bands?
That are modern. I mean, I listen to the radio still.
Okay.
Because like that's what kind of artist I
You love Lady
want to
Gaga?
be. I think Lady Gaga's great. I think Rihanna's awesome. I like a lot of Katy Perry songs. So it's like yeah, I know. But I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like as an artist who's trying to compete in the modern music market, you have to have some level of respect, even if you think it's terrible. You have to understand why people love it. So I like to listen to it for those reasons.
She's so
cool.
You know what? I'm being from California. I've been to Disneyland probably a million times, and there's a sound when you're on. There's a voiceover when you're on the Matterhorn that it's very monotone, but it immediately shoots me back to when I was a kid. Every time I hear it, because it's just like it's like the voiceover of the ride. It's like "Remain seated, please," but it's in this very. They've never changed it, and always makes me think of when I was a little kid. That's a very random answer, but that's what came to my mind. I hate honking horns. Like I never honk my horn unless it's like a courtesy honk for someone just to wake up that they're at a red light texting. But I hate the sound of horns. There's just so much. They're so abused, and there's so much aggression behind them.
Yeah, that's true.
Not a fan. Marty McFly from Back to the Future. That's tough because for a while, when you're trying to do music and you're trying to think of things realistically, you're like, okay, if I can't do music, what am I going to do? And at some point in my life, I realized, well, I'm going to do music in some capacity, whether it's as an artist, as a writer, on the business side of things. I could see myself getting into management and those kind of things. So, but if I did something out of this profession, I think I would be a teacher. Like I always wanted to be a high school teacher for some reason, and I think it's because I had such good relationships with my teachers back then.
Yeah.
Like real solid like friendships, and they helped me out a lot as I was trying to figure everything out. So I always kind of wanted to do that. So I could always see myself somehow doing that in some capacity. What do I bring? My merch, obviously, and I bring my iPod because any chance I get, I like to do the between bands music. So I'll make a mix and I'll hand it to the sound guy most of the time and play whatever I want. This tour I haven't done it, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself.
Oh,
but
really?
Normally I'll make a mix, and my favorite thing about the mix is it'll go from The Police to Paul Simon to Britney Spears to Snoop to to whatever. I really pride myself on randomness, but I definitely always like to do that. That's a good question. See, the trick with this is I tour, and I am one of those artists that no one knows. So I tour with a bunch of guys that are amazing, that no one knows a lot about, but without any of my friends that I'm not answering disliking me. Tony Luca is a singer-songwriter. He's actually playing here in a couple weeks. And I've toured a bunch with him. he's probably the best overall like natural singer songwriter I've ever been around. Like as far as a guy with an acoustic guitar doing it that way, I've never seen anyone really do it better. So Tony Luca. Dang.
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 Nice.
Dang. It's so the answer you give if you don't want to sound like a jerk, you say the second one.
Yeah.
But the truth of it is like I probably would be okay if I had one big hit and then that was it. Yeah. I'm such a fan of the radio and of pop music. I've always wanted that. But at the same time, if I can get over myself, I probably want to have a career where I could play clubs and connect on at places like like Red Room for the rest of my life. If I could fill rooms like this forever, I'd be pretty happy. So as much as I think I would want the one hit and nothing, I probably would prefer this because there's such a warmth to playing venues like this. That would ideally in the long run would probably be the working on a new record. I've been writing it for the whole year and it's almost done recording, and so 2011 new album and plenty of touring. So check me out on Facebook, Curtis Peoples, and Twitter, Curtis Peoples, and all those things. So.